Good morning, everyone. Hope you're enjoying this beautiful sunny day, a little chilly, but really pretty outside. I am giving people just another minute to log on. Looks like we have a good chunk of people on, but I just want to give people another minute just to get on and situated and all that. So we'll get started in just a second. Okay, get started. Welcome to this morning's webinar. This is just a general webinar covering some of the basics about the Good Giving Challenge, how it works, what you can expect, etc. My name is Lauren Parsons. I am the Director of Strategic Initiatives and Communications for the Bluegrass Community Foundation, and I am the staff liaison for the Good Giving Challenge. So it's my favorite thing we do and my favorite event every year. So I'm really excited to get started, and I'm sure you all are eager to do the same. Just a few things before we get started. The webinar is being recorded, and I will share a link in the emails after the webinar is over and it's uploaded to our YouTube channel. That YouTube channel, like that link stays the same. So once it's ready, it takes a little bit of time to like download it, re-upload it, all that stuff. So that might be later this week or early next week. There is the webinar recording from the last webinar already up there. This content will be mostly the same, but the Q&A section will be different. And I will bookmark that on the YouTube video as well. So you can just jump to that portion of the other one. And I will share the slides as well. Excuse me, in that same email that has the link to all that stuff. So you don't need to like furiously write everything down, but I will share the slides with you. So I also want to mention that we will save some time for Q&A at the end. So if you have a question, just submit it in that Q&A function on the Zoom taskbar there. I will address all those questions at the end. I think that you're able to upvote a question that's already been answered if you or asked if you would like to have that answered too. So I think that will bump that up to the top, but I'll get to all the questions. You don't worry about that. So we'll go ahead and get started. I wanted to just launch a quick poll to see if how many people are on the call who are, one, your organization is new, or if new to the challenge, maybe your organization has already participated before, but you're new. So I just am curious to see who's on the call today. Okay, it looks like the vast majority are returning, and the vast majority of organizations are returning, but it's like a little over half are not new. So we have a good mix. We'll have good questions at the end for people who have participated before, and then some of the newbies, you'll ask some good questions too. So I'm excited about that balance here. All right, so we'll go ahead, and just for those of you who haven't participated in the Good Challenge before, don't really know much about Bluegrass Community Foundation and why we do this. So Bluegrass Community Foundation, our mission is to vibrant, generous, equitable, and engaged communities in Central and Appalachia, Kentucky. We have over 200 million in charitable assets across over 700 funds. I think that might be over 800 funds now. We've been around since 1967, and since that time we've awarded over 160 million in grants, and last year it was over 16 million in grants alone that we gave to nonprofits. So I kind of like to say that we serve three audiences. We serve donors, we serve nonprofits, and we serve our community through our discretionary grant making. So our four pillars of grant making surround healthy neighborhoods, green spaces and public places, education, and transformative philanthropy. We believe that philanthropy has the power to change a community, and we'd love to see it. So the reason why we do the Good Giving Challenge is we think that everybody can be a philanthropist, and it's really easy to do during the Good Giving Challenge. We want to make giving to local nonprofit easy and fun. We make it really accessible by setting that minimum donation amount only at $10. So we want to make it really easy for people, and everybody can do it. So since 2011 was when the challenge started, and since that time we have 17 million for local nonprofits. I'm confident this year we will get over that 20 million total, and I'm really excited about that. So this year is the biggest yet. We have 200 nonprofits in the challenge this year. So when I first started at BGCF in, what year was that? 2019. So this might be my third or fourth challenge. There were like 130 nonprofits. So it has grown quite a bit since then. I'm really excited to see all the new groups, and I love learning about all the nonprofits. And I know that a lot of people like to do the same. It's a really great time to educate yourself on the nonprofit landscape in our community. Every year, the challenge launches on Giving Tuesday, that Tuesday after Thanksgiving. It's just some stats about last year's challenge. The average raise per nonprofit was $16,000. The average gift size was $106. So that minimum gift was $10. So that really makes you think about how much people are really giving back. The totals and matches and prizes that we had available last year was over 700,000. And this fun stat was last year, a third of donors to a new nonprofit for the first time. So like I said, it's a great chance for people to learn about new nonprofits. It's a great chance for you to get exposure to new donors. So it's a win-win for everybody. Everyone's learning about each other and supporting each other. So last year, that total raised during the challenge was 2.9 million, which is really exciting. I wanted to get to 3 million, but we were just shy of that. So it was still a really great year. And we're always just so thrilled to see the community rally in support of you all. So we love to see those numbers go up once the challenge starts. So again, I said the challenge starts on Giving Tuesday, which is that Tuesday after Thanksgiving. That falls on Tuesday, November 29th, and the challenge will start at 9 a.m. that morning. And then this year, the challenge will run through Friday, December 2nd at 11:59 p.m. For those of y'all who've been around from the beginning, you know the challenge used to be like 2 months long and then kind of gradually gotten shorter over time. We are really excited about this shorter time frame this year. We heard from donors and we heard from nonprofits that it was kind of hard to get people giving sort of like not died down, but it slowed down over the weekend. And so it was kind of hard to like ramp back up on that following Monday. So we're really excited to see how this works this year, just in that 1 week. And we'll do a lot of fun stuff that we'll send invites for. That Tuesday, we always have a press conference with the mayor. We invite all of you all to come down to Lexington. I think it'll be in Tandy Park downtown if the weather is nice. Last year it was a beautiful day, so it's like a big pep rally. Everyone makes signs and you show up and we just here for the start of the Good Giving Challenge and for Giving Tuesday. Last year Santa Claus came. It was so fun. Hopefully he'll be there again this year. I know he has a busy schedule. And at the end of the challenge, we're gonna have like a wrap party at West 6th. And we're gonna invite the media out, and I'm hopeful that it will get us coverage for like that last push for giving on that final night of the challenge. So it'll be a lot of fun to celebrate the beginning and then the end of a successful fundraising event. Some of the benefits of participating for you, I've been over this in some of the intro webinars, but one, it's a really seamless experience for donors. I kind of say it's as easy as online shopping. You add the donation you want to make to your cart, and then you check out all at once. A lot of donors give to more than one organization at one time. So that's a really seamless experience for them. And then they get that tax receipt all in one document. So that's really easy. One is the collective marketing behind the challenge. Not only does BGCF do a lot of work, you all do too. So it sends lots of people to the same site, and we'll also be listed. And then the final benefit, of course, are those matches and prizes that our fund holders and local businesses and sponsors put together. So that makes it really, really fun. Like I said, the donor experience is really seamless. You can give to multiple organizations all on one site. They get that immediate tax receipt from BGCF. So you don't have to send a tax receipt to the donor. We take care of that. It already goes out as soon as they make that donation. And then that way you can just focus on thanking them instead of doing that administrative work. And then donors also get the benefit of amplifying their gifts with the matches and prizes. Their charitable dollars go even farther during this time. And I mentioned the collective marketing benefits. 200 organizations will be leading donors to that one site. And we have a really exciting and robust marketing plan for the challenge this year. In addition to that print guide that we publish every year, we have a really nice digital marketing plan. We're gonna have billboards. We do social media marketing. And then we also provide you with ideas and templates and toolkits and all that to help support you in your efforts too. So far this year, we have over 600,000. I don't know if it's to 700,000. We're still waiting on a few final asks on those matches and prizes. We will have multiple match challenges per day this year, since it's in that compressed time frame. That's really exciting that we can offer more than one match challenge on each day. And we also have daily social media sweepstakes. So I know everyone's dying to hear what the matches are this year and how those will shake out. We are waiting on the Clark County Community Foundation. They do a really, really generous match for the organizations that are in Clark County. Their board meets this afternoon, I believe. So I should get all that finalized tomorrow, and we'll send that out to you all next week. And we'll get the final tally there. And then we always have sponsors sign on as the challenge is getting ready to start. So of course, we never know, we will gladly take those sponsorship dollars. So it may change even after that, but you'll have that first look at that next week. So yeah, there'll be multiple daily match challenges, those social media sweepstakes, so that you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at BGCFKY. We'll post about those social media sweepstakes, and then you would encourage donors to enter those sweepstakes to get a $250 prize match on that. Then also BGCF will have daily power hour prizes. Going to be a lot going on because there will be a shorter time period, and it'll be really fun to see how this all shakes out. So that will be coming to you next week. So how do donations work? We get this question every year. The donations have to be made through the site on bggives.org. They have to come through that website. Your donors can make those gifts using a credit card, ACH, or with their BGCF donor advised fund. If you have a donor who gives you a paper check, you can walk them through the steps of inputting that as an ACH gift online, but we cannot accept the paper checks. And as you know, in the webinar that Haley Cunningham recorded and sent out, about the rules of the challenge. It's really, it puts you in a risky position if you enter those checks them online, just because what would happen if you added one more zero, if it was 100 and you put in 1,000, or, instead of 100, you put in 10,000, it puts you at a little bit of risk to do that for them. So it's really important that the donors enter those gifts themselves. All gifts made during the Good Giving Challenge are tax deductible, 100%. So that means that you cannot offer quid pro quo for donation. So you can't say, if you give $10 today, you'll get a tote bag. And if, you can't do that because then we would have to keep track of what gifts you're offering in exchange for those donations. And then we would have to do the math on the receipts, and we're just not doing that. That's not possible. Because I think there were 13,000 donations made last year. So they just have to be 100% deductible, no quid pro quo offered in exchange. I've already mentioned that minimum donation amount is $10, and there is no maximum donation made that can be made during the challenge. we've had a $100,000 donation come through. So there is no maximum donation. The fees. So this year, we are doing like a flat fee for credit card and ACH. This year it will be 5.3%. Last year it used to be different between the ACH and the credit card, and then we had to charge like $1 or a couple dollars per ACH transaction. It was super complicated. Actually, BGCF had to add in extra money because we like estimated on the low end of how that would shake out. So whatever. This year the fee is just 5.3% total. That's a Stripe processing fee that you would pay online for like any, online transaction, whether it's a donation or whatever. It's just the name of the game now. And then there's also that technology platform fee. So if you have a donor who gives during the challenge with a donor advised fund, there is no fee on that gift made. None of these fees go to BGCF or Smiley Pete. Like none of these fees come to us. These are all like Neon One fees or Stripe processing fees. And the good news is though, that donors can cover the fees during checkout. And in fact, the vast majority do. 80% of fees are covered by donors. So how it works at the end of the challenge, you'll get a letter. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself now. So the charges will be from Bluegrass Community Foundation on all credit card statements or ACH, and then we will make a grant to you. So you'll get a check at the end that has all different items of total number of donations, less fees that were taken out if donors didn't cover those. And then there'll be a line item for each maximum prize that you received. And you'll get all those by the end of January 2023. Every year we have groups that ask if they can get those checks by the end of the calendar year. That has never been possible. In fact, even, I think last year might've been the first year that we did not extend the site, keep it open through New Year's Eve. That used to be something that our partners wanted. And that just isn't the case anymore because that allows you to get your checks faster. So we have to wait for all of the credit card donations to process, all the ACH transactions to process. Once we do that, then that's when we can start calculating the matches, because we don't want to match a gift to a transaction that has failed or been disputed or whatever. So we have to wait for all those to clear, and that takes a couple weeks. And then, as you know, then we're getting to the holiday season, and year end just at BGCF is really busy with year end giving and all that. So, and I think there was like one year we all got the flu. So like nobody was even in the office. So you just never know what can happen, but it will not be, I would say, or I would be shocked if it was earlier than mid-January of 2023. And I will, after the challenge is over, I'll send out an email to you when the checks go in the mail. We get them processed as soon as we can, but it does take time. And we, like I said, we have to wait for all those transactions to clear. Otherwise, if we give you a check, but then you had like $1,000 donation that bounced or was disputed, then like out the $1,000. So we have to wait for all that to clear. You'll get your money, we promise, as soon as you can, mid-January 2023, mid to end. As far as expectations, what you can expect from us, support, toolkits, and trainings. I've already sent those out in an email, and I'll show you on the portal where they live. Those have really good information in them. We've sort of come up with them on our own, and then we've looked at other giving days, and we've compiled sort of like some best practices. And every year when I read them and when other staff read them, we're like, oh my gosh, there's actually really good tips in here. We need to apply these to other things too. So they're a really good refresher, even if you've been in the challenge before. This only happens once a year. A lot of stuff happens for us in between, so it's hard to keep all that top of mind. We also provide you with that giving portal. We provide a lot of promotion and matches and prizes. We already have like TV news spots booked. We'll have press releases go out in advance of the challenge day. We're going to have like radio advertising, like all this stuff. So trust me, there's going to be tons of promotion for us. And that's one of the benefits you can expect. So what do we expect from you? Please read your emails. I promise I don't email you unless necessary. There's usually good information in there, I would hope, that is helpful to building a successful strategy for your challenge. We expect you to put in a strategy too, put in the time, get your board involved, engage your donors, use social media, share, be sure that you create that unique BG Gives URL. You've all already done that, and share that on your website, share that on your social media page, send it out in your emails. Drive people back to that BG Give site to make a donation to your organization. And get creative and have fun. This is a great time to test out, to make like a fun social media post or do a video, or it's fun and people get creative, and that's what works. That's what gets donors excited to give to you. So, try to have fun with it. I know it can be a lot going on. Just a few tips for success. Really, this is one of those things where what you get out of it equals what you put in. It does take a little bit of work on the front end, but I have some tips to help you like manage all that and plan ahead. So it really does take a little bit of time, but it will be well worth it. Just a few tips for success. First, set a goal. Whether that's a total amount you want to raise, the total number of gifts you want to get, whether it's you want to have so many fundraising pages set on your behalf, or a certain number of gifts come in through those fundraising pages. If you want to have board members, raise a certain amount, just set that goal and work towards it, and communicate that to your staff and to your board, and get everybody on board. Second, secure your own matches. So BGCF does work really hard to provide all those matches for you all that will come out next week, so we have some that are available to everyone. You can also go out and secure your own matches. If you have a donor who has given a lot to you in the past, reach out to them and see if they'll do like a matching gift. And then you can post that on your BG Gives page. You can promote that. Like if we raise $5,000 during the challenge, this donor will give us $2,500, or we'll even double it. Like there's lots of things you can do. Your board members can, provide matches for you. It's not required, but it does really help. And I think that helps the really successful campaigns have their own matches set. I've already talked about this, but get creative, have fun, make a fun like TikTok video or whatever. Listen, I'm 40. I'm probably too old for TikTok, but it is a lot of fun. And we have fun making videos on our own TikTok page. I mean, I don't know what the worst that could happen is, but get some cute music and have something that is really engaging with your donors. It's a great time to get creative. Be sure to tell your story. You can go on and think ahead about the different stories you would like to tell. What impact will donors' gifts have for you? Tell stories about things that you've done in the past thanks to donations, or thanks to Giving Challenge, if there was like something that you funded through it. Just think about those success stories. Think about visuals that go along with those. You can go ahead now and start creating videos, writing stories, getting photos, and compiling all that, and think about things. In addition to sharing, matches are available every day. Think about what stories you need to tell every day to help get people hooked and make that gift. Don't forget to tap into your networks. Go ahead, and if a lot of you are returning to the challenge, go ahead and export those past donor lists if you haven't already. Incorporate those into your mailing lists and all that. Think about prospects. This is a good time to get those lists ready and have all that ready to go once the challenge starts. Again, that goes into knowing your donors, know who they are, know about the different past donation levels that they've given. As you'll see when the matches come out, there's different sort of giving levels. So we have like a $10 level, a $25, if they give a gift of 25, if there's a match for like gifts up to 50, there's a match for a gift up to 500. So there's all these different donor levels. So you can target different segments of your donor base and sort of engage them to make those gifts. So just know who your donors are and know what their abilities are to give. Don't forget to personalize the ask, especially with those larger donors. Really goes a long way. And finally, start early. We're 40 days out, I think I saw on the website this morning, so it's never too early to get started. As far as BG Gives, your profile, be sure to take a look at your profile, fill that out. There are 199 different organizations other than yours to look at for ideas. I think it's all friendly here. Everyone's different, and you can see some ideas of what other people do, but be sure to include photos, videos, testimonials, donation levels and programs, and link to your website and social media pages. And I'll walk you through all that as soon as I get through this presentation here. Helping donors find you. You can create that custom URL, use it everywhere. You can add keywords. There's a section on that to add keywords, and that helps donors search for you. And why I say this is because I know that there are people who maybe this is that new donor thing, right? They don't have an organization in mind, but they might have like a cause in mind. Like, for example, I think I say this all the time, but like my mom loves animals. She loves dogs. She always gives to, you know, the humane societies, the groups that help animals and things like that. So she has some in mind, but I also help her find other ones. My grandfather was a science teacher and a principal of a middle school. So education is really important to him. So if you put those keywords in there, what I like to do is make a gift to organizations in honor of my loved ones, if they're like especially hard to shop for at the holidays. So it's just a nice thing to do. And it makes, think about those keywords, put those in there, and that will help donors find you if they don't really have an organization in mind. We'll also go through these peer-led fundraisers. If you've been around since the beginning, these have had like many different names. They were like ambassador pages, P2P fundraising pages. They're all the same thing. These are a way for your fans to create like their own little mini web page with a personal appeal. This is a great way to get your board members involved if they issue a match. All the funds that are given on those fundraising pages will go toward your final total. And but it's just a fun way to like personalize that ask. I can go ahead and show you this. There are some instructions and FAQs already on BG Gives here. These are under about an FAQ. There's a fundraiser page here. So Neon One plugged all this in for us. So it's like a step-by-step guide to how to do that. Here are the instructions that they put together. And it also, it covers it from a couple of different perspectives, from like, you can create some, and then also for how your donors will do the same. There are a lot of organizations that are really successful with creating fundraiser pages in support of different like programs, projects, different initiatives that they have going on. So like, for example, if I wanted to raise like $500, if I could do that, I could like put in a new sandbox at our location. I don't know what BGCF would do with the sandbox. This is just an example, but that if you had like a cute picture of a sandbox, like the dream sandbox, and then like what you're going to do with it, that helps people really visualize like, what are they raising money for? There are some organizations that do a really good job, or like you can have your staff members create fundraising pages. I know there's a group who is executive director. I think birthday is during the challenge most every year. So she creates a fundraiser page like, wish me a happy birthday by making a gift to my organization. So there are different ways to get creative with those. Here you can see all of the fundraising pages that have already been made. Some people have already gotten started, so that's really great. And you can see, you can add a really nice photo, provide a description. And of course, these don't open for donations until the challenge starts, but then you'll see progress towards those goals. And yeah, you can customize it as much as you want to, and you can create a template to share with your donors and board as well to get them started. Let me go back to my presentation. Okay. And then with donor engagement, I kind of touched on this already. Make sure you have your lists already together, your current donors, your previous challenge donors, and then any prospects. Go ahead and get those lists ready to go. Upload those into your email tools, and get people to like you on Facebook and social media, and just get all that stuff ready to go, so you're not scrambling that as the challenge is going on. And then the donor strategy, I also already touched on this, but you'll see when the challenge, when the matches come out, there's sort of like a roadmap to different levels of giving. Line your donors up with those different match challenges and secure those matches, and those donors like ready to go. A lot of groups say, hey, I need you, there's a big match going on, I'll just say like Tuesday at noon, I really need you. You promise, do you pledge to be on your computer and ready to give at noon on Wednesday and make that gift of like X amount? So it can make you nervous because you're, hopefully they'll be available to do that, but it's really important to line those up and get them lined up, and don't just leave it to chance. We also think that this is a great way to introduce you all to new donors. This is sort of like one of the things we love about the Good Giving Challenge and supporting our nonprofits, is getting them exposure to new challenge donors, because a third of donors last year gave to a new nonprofit for the first time. So be sure after the challenge, send them thank you notes, incorporate them into your mailing lists. They want to hear from you, and they're going to want to hear like success stories of what you've done after the challenge and what their donations have helped you accomplish. So go ahead and like bring them into the fold of your donors. And I've also sort of touched on this, but just as far as marketing, go ahead and start planning your email strategy. If you've participated before, look back at the emails you sent last year. You can go ahead, you could start creating those templates, fill in the match, amounts as we know those next week, fill in those stories. You can have stories from the perspective of donors, stories from the perspective of, the constituents, the people that you help. You can go ahead and start creating those and then schedule them. We use MailChimp. And so once the challenge starts, like we know what emails we need to send, and we'll have them sort of scheduled to go out a week in advance. So we're not scrambling to do that. And go ahead and start adding a save the date to your email and newsletters, and get people like ready to make them aware that you're participating in the challenge, and get them ready to expect that from you. And this goes with social media. You can go ahead and start planning your social media approach. You can create a content calendar. What my team uses is, it could be as simple or as complicated as you want it to be. We use just like a Google sheet, and we'll have dates. And that way we know what we're posting which day. We have the outlets that we're posting it. Is it just a Facebook? Is it Facebook and Instagram? Is it only Instagram? Is it on LinkedIn? Like whatever. So we have that all planned out, and because you don't want to post like too many times in a day. I know it's hard during the challenge. That's kind of like the exception, but there's sort of like, and you go back and look at posts from previous years that you've posted or that other groups have posted, and see what kind of tracks well. I mean, anything with like a visual, a video, do really well. And if you look at the hashtags of the challenge previous years, like hashtag BG Gives, hashtag Good Giving Challenge might be one too. You can see what people have posted if you're new, and think about who your influencers are for your organization. Ask your board, say, hey, we're going to be posting about the Good Giving Challenge. Can you please like share that, like it, comment. And if it's not your board, who are your big donors? I mean, you're going to know who your influencers are and who's really active on social media, or even, through email as well. It's not just online on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that, but think about your influencers and who you want to help you make those asks for the Good Giving Challenge. They can promote their fundraiser pages. That would be a great way to tie those into. And don't forget to tell your story. There's 200 of you all in the challenge here, but each one of you is unique. No two groups are exactly alike. And that's what I love about it. So be sure to tell your story. Who do you serve? What do you do? Why do you need donors to support you during this time? And how could your impact grow with their support? Be sure to share those stories. There are several different tools that I have had experience with that my team uses that I can recommend to help you keep things organized. If you have don't already have an email program, think about looking at one. There's plenty that are free. I think MailChimp has a free plan. There's others like HubSpot, Constant Contact. I don't know that they have a free plan. It's like a combination CRM and email program in one. So you can think about those if you don't already have one lined up. As far as graphic design, I love Canva. I also use Adobe. Adobe is like kind of hard, I think. I mean, I took graphic design in college, but that was, 20 years ago. So I have to do a lot of Googling to use Adobe. Canva is great. If you don't already use it, check into it. It is, there's a free account level. And it's what I love about Canva is you can create your own little branding guidelines in it. You can upload your logos, your fonts, you can set your colors, and you can just really create things that like look really nice within your branding. Also, it has a lot of preset sizes. So like Instagram, Facebook, flyers, email headers, like it knows the optimal size for all those. And so it's really easy to like create something and then you can resize it to another size to repurpose. So it's really great to use for like this sort of like multi-tiered multimedia campaign. And then for social media, I've mentioned you can go ahead and start planning out your plan of attack. I've used Hootsuite to schedule social media posts. I prefer Buffer. I think it's like visually, I did prefer the look of it. And it's really nice. You can sort of create campaigns with that and track to see how engagement is going. So that we'll do the same thing. We schedule all of our emails to go out for the challenge, a week or so in advance, and then we'll schedule all our social media posts to go up too. So those will be all lined up. So then during the challenge, you'll be able to kind of monitor activity and do the fun stuff, and you're not scrambling to like make a social media post or something. And be sure to look at those hashtags and analytics of your previous years, if you've been in the challenge before, or just like see which of your posts have done the best and try to replicate that. So we'll just do a quick demo of the BGGive site. And yep, 40 days. Wow, it'll be here before we know it. Okay, so I'm going to log in as a nonprofit. I have multiple accounts. So I have a donor account. So I'm going to try to log into the right one. And we're just going to go through some of the steps that you need to walk through when you're updating your profile. You can see here when you log in, there's something here that I wanted to point out. It'll say early giving. We do not do early giving. Some giving events do. We don't. We like for it all to be live once the challenge starts, just because also of the way that some of our matching challenges have worked. We can't really schedule those in advance, so we don't do that. But you can see a lot of things here, matching funds, your fundraising pages, all that will be there. What we're going to sort of go over right now is your public profile. So you can see here, a lot of this you've already started with here when you registered, but just make sure you have everything. Let me see if I'm going to copy this, put it in a new tab. So yeah, you can see here, there's email, website, you can add, that's a share, that's not to a certain page, to a Facebook page. Those would show up down here. Make sure that that's really filled out, have a good explanation of what your organization does. You can have testimonials there. There's something I wanted to point out here. This group doesn't have it. If you edit it, there's a couple things I wanted to point out. One, this hero image default, Some groups have tried to do that. I have not been able to get that to work. So sorry. Maybe if you want to use Neon One support, you can click on this button here and they might be able to help you, but I haven't gotten that to work. Sometimes also it depends on what changes you make. Some things show up immediately and some things take a little bit of time to show up, especially like if you're adding photos or updating logos, it just takes a while to populate on the back end. And that is not our thing. That is, that's a Neon One thing. What I wanted to point out here, this alert text. So if you see some groups, let's see if we can find one. Maybe they have it. Okay. Yep. This orange text here, that's that alert text. So if you have something that you really want donors to see as soon as they hit your page, that's where you're going to put that. It could be a match. It could be like an urgent need. It can be a project that you have going on. But so it's kind of up to you what you would like to put there. I think that the Lexington Black Prosperity Initiative is going to have a match opportunity. So we'll probably put that there as well. And then that's where you can put in these keywords. I need to add more there. So I'm not a great example of that, but yes, keywords go there. Alert text goes here. There's another place where you can put matching opportunities, and I can show you that too. But yeah, that match there. That would be a good spot for that. And okay, donation levels. This is a nice tool. Once the challenge starts, this page will look a little bit different. This button will turn it, this raise button will turn into a donate button. And then there, if you have these donation levels populated, so you could be like, a gift of $10 does X, a gift of $25 does X, a gift of $50, and you can put whatever levels you want to target there. You can go as high as you want. And then once the challenge is live on November 29th, you will be able to see those when they click on donate, if that makes sense. I know I will, I have a call with Neon One tomorrow, and I'm going to get some sample screenshots of like what this page will look like once the challenge is live. And so you can see a better idea of what I mean. Because I know a lot of groups sort of panic as a challenge comes on. They're like, well, where is my donate button? This will turn into a donate button once the challenge is live. So add those donation levels here. You could do it here. You could do it through a fundraising page. Either way, it will help donors see like what their gifts will help accomplish. It might push them up to a higher level of gift. You never know. So it's a good thing to do. These will be like clickable. Like if donation level of like $25 does whatever, then they'll be able to like click on that and make their donation through that. Also on the multimedia page, I wanted to show you a couple things. Well, you can see here. I don't know if I have an example. To add a YouTube video, we'll start there. This is not really related to them, but if you add a link and a title, I'll show you how easy it is to add videos to your profile. That's all you have to do. So if I go back here, you can see that is already right there. Delete that. And then to add a photo, here's what you do. This is super easy. Upload a file. Oh boy. We'll just add this. It might be too large. Yeah, it's too large. Well, it would have been easy if the file wasn't too big, but you just type in the title of the photo, upload it. If I have files that are too large, I'll usually like resize them in like Microsoft Paint or something, just like scale it down a certain percentage and then resave it and upload that. So that's kind of annoying, but it's very easy if your files aren't too big. I don't know if I can show you that. Yeah. You just super easy. Upload the file. If you have any questions about that, just let me know, but it's pretty straightforward. Events, you could add events here. I don't know what, how, if that would be helpful, unless there's like something you want to push early next year that donors would be able to see them. You could add some volunteer opportunities as well. You don't need to worry about the documents. I don't know of any organization that has done that. And then contacts, this is where you can add contacts for your organization. Also, you can add users here, and you might go in and clean up some of your users. You can remove their access, and that would make them like inactive. It'd probably be good. I know a lot of groups have like a lot of users who are no longer with their organization, or maybe like former board members. So just go in there and clean those up too. Because then when it's time to register, we pull all the emails out, and then every year there's always people who get mad at us because we're still emailing them, but they're in, they're linked to an organization, and how would we be able to keep track of that? This is where you'll be able to see past donations under the My Donations tab. So because the challenge isn't open yet, there aren't any donations here, but you could do past events, and you could do like, yeah, and it'll export that spreadsheet for you. Fundraisers, this is where you'll be able to see your fundraising pages. You can easily create a fundraiser through this and create a title. This is also pretty straightforward. You just go through the fill in the blanks, add in a new image, share your story. You can save it, and then you can do this as your organization. You also log in as a donor. Create a donor account and do that there too. If you want to create it like from your make a personal ask versus like an ask for your organization, you can do it both ways. And then the resource center, this is where if you filter by BGCF toolkits, these are also where all those toolkits live that we have put together for you. So they're here as PDFs. You can download them, print them, send a link to your board members, etc. So there's one for the profile checklist that sort of has all the things that you need to think about as you're creating your BG Gifts profile. Strategy builder. This is a link to the YouTube page. You can use the challenge logos here. You can and you can add those to your Canva account when you sign up for that, and use those to easily create social media posts. Let's see. And then I will also add the slides here as well, email them out. So everything, like, this is just a nice place where all that lives. So you don't have to keep searching back in your emails for it. I think that's most of this. It's pretty straightforward. Also, just know, like I said, support. This goes to one. It sort of like sends the support team an email. And this is really nice because it does ping all members of the support team. So you're not trying to figure out who to reach out to. And during the challenge, it will be like live, but because of their hours, I think it's like after 5 o'clock, it sends an email and they'll get to you the next morning. This support is live for you now. And it's really like, if you need help adding a user, if you need help removing a user, if you need help with your passwords or any access, like anything to do with using the site, you will need to reach out to Neon One. When the challenge starts, the donors will also have access to the support button. And that's for help with recovering their passwords, with, any issues they have with checkout. We don't have access to passwords or any of that. And it is possible as a donor to log in at any time throughout. So if you have those big donors lined up for certain challenges, you will want to encourage them to go ahead and try to log in before the challenge starts, because they don't want to be like trying to make a gift in a timely way and then trying to log in and they can't remember their password, and they're trying to get a password reset, and then they get frustrated and you're calling us and we can't help. So you can log in at any time and make sure that you have that password ready to go. I'm gonna go back to, I'm pretty sure that's all. Yeah, the fundraiser pages used to be up here in this weird thing, but they put them all here, which is really nice because that was really confusing last year. Yeah, so I think we're getting towards the end of this. Just keep track of your timeline. Think about what you need to do before, during, and after the challenge. This is all here, but go ahead and start reaching out to your board members, your employees, your donors, get them excited. One thing you can do, this is an idea, it's also in one of those toolkits, get your board to commit to donating and fundraising for you. They can have like a little thankathon. You could put like postcards or something, or have them send emails to previous donors, sending like a little thank you. Capture donor messages about why they give, and share those before and during the challenge. Go ahead and think about the content you're going to post, create your fundraiser pages, and create those for you. And then during the challenge, if you do all this now, then during the challenge, you can just like keep posting and sharing your story and kind of have fun watching the fun happen and the gifts come in. After the challenge, of course, thank your donors, capture their information, and incorporate that in your stewardship plan. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Q&A, but there was one thing I wanted to point out. How do I get back to this? And this goes back to the thing that I said about asking Neon One for screenshots of this and how it will look when the challenge starts. So like now we are in like countdown mode, because this is a countdown. And then once the challenge starts on Tuesday, November 29th at 9 a.m., this will turn into like a donation ticker. So it'll start from 0 and it will go up every time a donation is made. There'll also be like a ribbon here that has like the logos of organizations that just got a match. There'll also be a leaderboard, I believe, on the homepage, if not here. So you'll be able to see organizations who's received the most total donations, the number of donations. You can filter by counties or service areas, things like that. And then one thing, if you have donors, or if you are looking for receipts from Good Giving Challenge donations, donors can request those at any time from this homepage. So they just need to put in the email address they used at checkout, and then the year of the donation. And after this opens, obviously 2022 will be available, and then they can get those receipts resent to them via email. There was one other thing I was going to point out about this. Yeah, I guess the other thing was that will be a donate button, and then all the fundraiser pages will be listed here. So yeah, it's kind of hard to visualize before the challenge starts, because it will look kind of different on the day. But again, I will get screenshots from Neon One about how it will look, so we won't be surprised. I'm going to go ahead and start looking at some of the questions. Okay, so somebody asked about the matches. Those will be released early next week. Somebody asked about the fees. Yes, the fee, that 5% fee applies to credit card and ACH, not the donor advised fund. But yes, the 5% is across the board because like the ACH, it's weird. There wasn't that Stripe fee, but there was a transaction fee. And it was strange because like for certain, I think it was like $1 for each transaction. But so if it was like a $10 gift, then that's actually more than the percentage. So it was kind of, the math wasn't great. It wasn't like a good value with that, if that makes sense. So we are just making it that 5.3% across the board. Okay, how do you create a custom URL? That is on that public profile. If you click edit my public profile, oh my gosh, I can't say that. And then it's just this slug here. So you can customize the end of it. So it'll be like bggives.org/racial equity is this page. So, and you can't have any spaces. In that, and I think no punctuation, but I guess you can do, you can see that like underscore there if you need to create a space, but you can see here, like, and this is like randomly populated every single time. Like if you refresh it, there's different organizations that pop up there. Well, of course I said that, but then here is also where this was the other thing I wanted to mention, where you can filter by categories. Like you can see community groups, and then you could even filter over here by county. And I know there are 2 matches who are for specific counties. The Hudson Ellis Fund in Boyle County does a match for Boyle County groups. So no organizations categorized by community there, but well, this is a dud of an example. There we go. We have 3 arts organizations in Boyle County. Clark County also has a match. So you can see, you can filter there. There's multiple ways that you can filter this stuff. Yep. Okay. So people ask who should be added as a user. Only people who would be editing our account. So it's people who would be editing your account. Also, who you would want to be able to log in and have access to donations that are being made. If you, I know that sometimes people will use like a previous employee's email address as their login, but then they wonder like, why they don't get the emails from us? Well, it's because like you're using somebody else's email address that you don't have access to. And so we export our email list from the users in BG Gives. So I mean, it's tough for us, 200 organizations, and some organizations, I'm sorry, have like 5 people on staff that have, like, we just can't keep track of that. So that's how we sort of build that mailing list. So it's like anybody who needs access to your BG Gives site, who would want to get our emails at this point now, you'll need to, I think this is the link that I include in the emails that are going out now. If you have folks in your organization who aren't getting our emails, but be added to our mailing list, there's this MailChimp campaign for like a landing page where you can add their email address and then the organization that they're with, so that we can add them to the MailChimp list on the back end. But yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but that's who would need to have access to BG Gives. People who would need to edit your profile, have access to donation information, and then people who you would want to get our emails. I see the countdown about the hours. I can tell them it's probably because Neon One is based in Colorado, and I think that's the 2-hour time difference. I will confirm with them tomorrow, but I'm sure that it is set to go to start at 9 a.m. It's just they're on a time difference, and I will. But yeah, thank you for pointing that out. I will ensure tomorrow that it is set to start at 9 a.m. on November 29th and at 11:59 p.m. on Friday, December 2nd. Also you can update your profile up until the start of the challenge. You can't update your profiles after the challenge has started. So I will send a reminder like a few days before the challenge starts, like any last minute changes you want to make to your profile, go ahead and do those, because it switches that mode over, and you can't make updates after that time. I said something about updating donor lists. I meant your to your own like email communications, your print communications, so you can export past event. If you are returning to the Good Giving Challenge, you can export past donor lists. These are for any year that you have participated. You can go ahead and export those here and then add them to like your email, whatever platform you use, whether it's MailChimp or Constant Contact, go ahead and upload those there. That's what I meant by that. You don't need to upload anything for your donors into bggives.org. That's not necessary. I hope that's responsive. Somebody asked, what is going on with the print guide this year? Is the format changing? Yes. Well, it's because there are 200 organizations. So we cut back on what we do and why we're great. We just can't include those because I think the print guide would be like twice as big. And we try not to so the registration fees that you all pay, that goes towards the marketing budget and the platform, the platform fees and all that. We don't want to spend all of that on the print guide, especially with like the increase in paper and postage and all that. It gets really expensive. So it also is a matter of time crunch, because we kept the registration open later this year. We have more organizations, and then the time frame to edit the print guide is like over. So like, you all know, when did the registration close for the challenge? I can't remember the date. Was it October 1st? I'm not sure. But so then I have to turn around and collect all the logos, all the photos, all the information, give you all time to review that, make edits, allow me time to follow up with people who didn't send photos and logos and all that. So like our graphic designer, like, we have to finalize the content for the print guide tomorrow. So we just don't have the bandwidth to edit all those, because like we also had like really short character limits on those just to keep things from getting so long. And we just don't have the time, since we were trying to keep registration open later. We don't have the time to have all that. And also, I mean, I know it's really nice. I mean, it'll still be a really nice publication. Every organization will have organization's name, contact info, website, and it's an online campaign. So all of that information, you can put that and more on your site. So it's sort of like the long answer to that. It's just a time and capacity thing. So it will still, I can show you, if I can pull it up, you can see, I sent an example to some people. I can show you an example of what it will look like. So instead of having like 4 to a page, we have to put like 8 organizations to a page, just because even still the print guide is going to be like 40 to 50 pages. So it's just a matter of like, we can't have 100-page publication for editing and time and all that. So it's still going to look really nice. It's going to be really colorful. And people do hang on to this. And that's why we have the photos and all that. So you can kind of like illustrate what kind of organization you are. So I'm sorry, I'll stop talking about that. If you have any more questions about that, let me know about the print guide. So I think I answered that one. The date to finalize website changes, I'll repeat that it would probably, I would say the day before. I would get all that done November 28th. That's just because like the website kind of switches over into a different mode. And I guess like maybe I don't know if it would be considered like kind of misleading to make changes afterwards. I don't know, but yeah, it's the day the challenge starts is the last day to make website changes. Okay, so I'm reading a question now. Okay. Do you have any tips for increasing reach on social media, especially for Facebook? I do feel this struggle as well. They say they feel like their organization's posts aren't getting the kind of reach that they used to. I'm curious, there are certain kinds of content that the algorithm prefers to lift up. And yes, I've heard this. So I've heard that like Facebook Live videos get a lot more reach than photos. And the thing that is so frustrating with, especially with Facebook, I mean, it's a fun tool to use. It's a great way to get information out, but then we're sort of like beholden to their whims, right? Like, and then they said like video, they kind of lied about the popularity of video and how like the algorithm was really working. So I know it's frustrating, but I also agree. I feel like reach hasn't been as great. I would say there's a couple of things to think about for the algorithm. one thing I have heard is that the sooner a post gets likes and comments, the faster it will populate into other people's feeds, if that makes sense. So like Facebook can kind of sense like this post is popular, other people are going to want to see it. So that is sort of the key then to, even if it's just like your staff, your board saying like, hey, every day we're going to be posting something at like 8 a.m. or 9 a.m., like whatever, please look for that and like, and elevate that. Like it, I've heard that Facebook, instead of just like a thumbs up, if you heart it or do like a reaction, that gets like a little bonus point for them, in terms of like they'll boost it even faster. You know, in years past, I will see if we can do this again. And if David can't do it for us, I'll find somebody else, just to have like a really quick social media session on tips and tricks like that. Because, and also the frustrating thing is, as soon as you learn it, it changes, right? But I've heard that those reactions help things get boosted more. The Facebook Live videos. So yeah, we have started doing those, especially during the challenge. I would say the time, I don't have a like certain answer on that. This is a really good question. I'm going to do some research on that and share what I find with you all. I'll send out an email or whatever. It's like, you have to have enough time with the Facebook Live video to allow for people to sign on, you know, to get like the notification that you're going live, and then post the actual content. There are also tools, and they might be paid. I think we pay for them during the challenge and then cancel our subscription right after, where you can create videos and then schedule them to be live. So I don't know how it works, but it tricks Facebook into thinking that it's a live video. So that's something to think about too. We do a mix because we've also heard the same thing. So we try to do more of those live videos throughout the challenge, especially to like announce prizes and all that stuff. But you can also record them and schedule them to go up every day. And that's just like what I was kind of saying before about like scheduling as much as you can ahead of time. That's what we try to do. So even with the live stuff. Yeah, I've heard videos, I've heard live videos. Of course, like any post that has like a photo, if you can have a post where you're like tagging people, I think that helps, because that's just like getting your post. If you're tagging people or organizations, you're like tagging, it's like putting into all those other feeds as well. And then unfortunately, I think, I hate it, but sometimes we'll throw, you know, you can set like an advertising budget for social media during that time and boost your post after they go up. Like, it's not something that I would do. We don't do it for every single post, right? But like for posts that we really want to be sure, you can boost them just to your audience, just to make sure like everybody who likes you sees them, or you can target different audiences. Like I don't know if you logged into that, but you can target like people who live in a certain city, people who different things. You can target like education level, like you can really get granular with it. But I think the easiest thing is to like throw $10 behind a post and say, make sure this is boosted to all my followers. So I hate to have to do it, but we do it too, especially during the challenge. So that's one way. But that's a really great question. And that reminds me to follow up with the gentleman who has social media posts before, and social media webinar, and see if you can re-up that, or if we can get somebody else as well. I think the thing is the influencer stuff. When I say influencer, like if you just have board members, staff members, your biggest fans who will help you by sharing those posts and commenting and liking and reacting, hearting them, all that will really help get those Facebooks as well. But I know it's like, it changes so often now. It's really hard to keep track of what the best practices are, but up on that for you. I think that's all the questions. I'll leave it open for just 1 second, a few more minutes to see if anybody else has any other questions, but I'm just going to go back to the final screen. So yeah, like maybe I should do like a quick tutorial, not today, but on Canva. This is great. So I created this presentation in Canva. You can see there's all these different templates. I have like, you can see, I don't know if this would be, I have like branding kits for like the challenge, last year challenge. I need to delete that. Like we have like our normal logos and brand colors. So you can really do a lot of fun stuff. You can customize all sorts of different fonts. You can add different images here that you can use and all that. So it's a really fun tool. Maybe I should do a separate quick webinar on how to use this, but I love to use this for presentations. It's way more fun and they look way so much cuter than PowerPoint. Anyway, so finally, just as a last reminder, there is that support button on BG Gives. If you need help with the site, you can feel free to email me with any questions, Lauren@bgcf.org. I also have a team member, Courtney Turner, who's new on our team. You can email her if I'm not available. And then a lot of the emails sometimes come from info@bgcf.org. So just make sure you add us all to your contacts. Sometimes MailChimp thinks that I'm a little spammy if I'm emailing you all too much. So be sure to add me to your contacts so you see those in your inbox. And don't forget to follow us on social media at BGCFKY. We'll be sharing more about the challenge as it's coming up, and we'll have those like social media sweepstakes that go up every day of the challenge. And then you can go ahead and start looking at those past year hashtags, hashtag GoodGiving Challenge and hashtag BG Gives. There's no year on those anymore. I think in the past they would like do it by year, like GoodGiving Challenge 2022, but we don't do that because I kind of fun to see them all there because we follow those during the challenge, especially, and we'll like repost them and all that. So it's really fun to see those posts come through. You can get some good ideas from what groups have done before. And you can see like anything with a photo, video, all that can be really, really engaging and moving for donors. So if you think of a question afterwards and you didn't get a chance to ask it or think of it then, or if I didn't get to it, you can email me. We work on a hybrid schedule. So in the office 3 days a week, I at home up to 2. So like I'm at home today. So sometimes email is the fastest way to get to me, but if you call our office, they'll send your call to me as well. But email is usually the fastest way. If you think of any question at any time, we're here to help. Again, this will be uploaded to our YouTube page and you can watch it at any time, share it with your team members if they couldn't attend today. So again, this is my favorite time of year. I love the GoodGiving Challenge. I hope you all like it too. I know it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for everyone, but it can be really rewarding and fun to watch the community come together in support of all of you. So anyway, again, reach out if you have any questions. Thanks so much for your time today. I hope you have a great rest of your day.